It doesn't really matter no comments, what anybody say about me. I'm happy with myself, and I know what I'm capable of doing when
this quote-unquote version of Canelo Alvarez would diminish the accomplishment that Floyd Mayweather.
Canelo Alvarez is about to make it rain in the ring like never before.
Floyd Mayweather is reportedly concerned after Canelo Alvarez signed a $400 million contract with Riyadh season, making it the most lucrative contract in Mexican boxing history. With $80 million already received from his previous fight and another $150 million expected against Terence Crawford, Canelo is on the cusp of earning $1 billion, whilst Mayweather boasts about his prior earnings. Canelo continues to collect fortunes through boxing, and business sources claim Floyd is envious and upset, unwilling to see anyone eclipse his reputation, especially someone rising swiftly with global support and great popularity.
That he don't want anybody to surpass his accomplishments, right? And Terence Crawford jumping up from 154 to 168 and beating this quote-unquote version of Canelo Alvarez would diminish the accomplishment that Floyd Mayweather accomplished beating his version of Canelo Alvarez. He did it first, right? Canelo Alvarez is way more accomplished today than he is when he fought Floyd, but he was already accomplished, right? He was already a unified champion and has successfully defended his titles 5 times. Now, he was 23 years of age.
When asked if Canelo Alvarez is the new face of boxing, Floyd Mayweather seemed unimpressed. He immediately denied the idea, arguing that Gervonta Davis is now the sport's true face. Mayweather, who has long praised his own accomplishments as the peak of boxing, was unable to accept Canelo's advancement in the sport. Instead, he shifted to focus to his own protege, Gervonta, emphasizing Davis' potential and achievement. Floyd's remark emphasized his competitive nature and his unwavering desire to remain in the global limelight of boxing.
So say to your Mexican fans, and if you think that Canelo is the actual face of boxing right now.
If Canelo is the face of boxing, more power to Canelo, but I see Gervonta Tank Davis as the face of boxing. He's young, he's hungry, and if I'm not mistaken, 23 to 24-0, and with a 99% knockout ratio. So I see Gervonta Tank Davis as the face of boxing.
Do you have a message for your
Canelo Alvarez claims Floyd Mayweather is envious of his career and accomplishments. He stated that he doesn't care what Floyd or others think of him. Canelo remains unconcerned with boxing's enmity or competitiveness, focusing entirely on his own career and achievements.
Fans, Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather, they feel like Benavidez is the best fight. Do you?
I don't care. I don't care what they feel. At the end of the day, no make sense for me, right? They don't have nothing to offer me.
Canelo Alvarez has established himself as one of boxing's top names today, with his popularity and successes transcending borders. His rise to stardom has been historic in the sport, especially in terms of his influence on the Mexican fan base. Canelo has risen to represent the pride and passion of Mexican boxing fans, just as Floyd Mayweather has become a symbol of boxing in the African-American community. However, with his continuing success and accolades, Canelo has evolved into more than just the face of Mexican boxing. He is a global phenomenon, commanding respect and admiration throughout the world for his ability to generate some of the sport's highest PAYDAYS.
Canelo is beating these guys with all 5 layers of defense. Number 1, feet. Number 2, elbows, hands, shoulders, and the mind. This is exactly how both of those guys got to the highest level of boxing supremacy. Canelo Alvarez means to the Mexican fans what Floyd Money Mayweather meant for black people. 50 wins in boxing, no losses, no draws. And follow for more.
Despite Canelo's success, Floyd Mayweather has been hesitant to praise him, especially when it comes to Canelo's standing as one of the greatest fighters. When asked about Canelo's status in boxing, Mayweather deflects, refusing to give him the recognition that many believe he deserves. Floyd's reluctance to rank Canelo among the best in the sport is evident in his comments, in which he stresses the number of great Mexican fighters throughout history, while failing to acknowledge Canelo's accomplishments in the same light.
Canelo's a hell of a fighter. There's a lot of great Mexican fighters. That's not for me to rate fighters. I just take my hat off to so many fighters that paved the way, for me to be where I'm at, just, throughout life. Canelo's a hell of a fighter.
Floyd Mayweather also appears to believe that Canelo has not improved enough to be considered a true great of the sport. Despite Canelo's rise and the world titles he has won in a variety of weight divisions, Floyd continues to claim that Canelo, even at his height, was just another fighter. Floyd claims that he faced Canelo while he was still maturing, and that even in his prime, the Mexican fighter did not perform very well.
Same fighter. It's the same fighter. It's crazy that it was like Canelo in his prime. He'd have been a different fighter. When I fought him, he was in his prime. If you go back and look at me, I was the best when I was in my 20s. When I fought Canelo, I was almost 40 years old. And a lot of times they're gonna keep asking me about the Canelo fight. And I already know when they write about it, it's gonna make it seem like, the headline, they're gonna make it seem extremely bad, seem like a beef. I mean, it seems like it's a beef. It's not a beef. I like Canelo. I mean, I like his work. But we're forgetting about Boost Ennis. Hell of a fighter. We don't talk about him.
Mayweather routinely boasts about his victory over Canelo during their fight in 2013. Floyd was already a boxing legend, unbeaten and with numerous world titles in various weight classes. Canelo, on the other hand, was only 23 years old and looked to the future of boxing.
Canelo was 23 with 43 fights and 30 knockouts, and the world said he was inexperienced. I was 36 with 40-something fights, and to tell you the truth, I was over the hill.
I mean, you fought Floyd Mayweather at what? You're 23?
23.
That's so fucking young. And he was like, that was when he was prime,
his
right?
prime, yeah.
Prime, and you're only 23?
23.
What was that like?
I trained so hard, and now obviously I try to beat him because beat him. If you beat him, you wanna be the best in the world at 23. So imagine that. But he was the better man that night. A lot of experience. He's a great fighter. But I learned.
Joe Rogan has frequently addressed the significance of Canelo's defeat to Mayweather and how it signified a watershed moment in his career. Rogan underlines that the setback was more than just a loss in the ring, it was a valuable learning experience. The defeat forced Canelo to reevaluate his boxing strategy, which resulted in significant gains in his defensive abilities.
There's just guys that just have preposterous power, and Canelo is a guy that has power but is constantly working on it. There's a great clip of him working with Andy Ruiz. You know that shield, that weird hand shield that they hold up for hooks? Yeah. And he's like, this is not for speed. This is just power, just power. He's like, don't try to be fast with this, just power. And you see him, hey, boom! Bro, he hits so hard.
El estilo de Mayweather es un estilo muy difícil. No pega, no nada, pero es un estilo difícil, muy difícil de conectar, muy difícil de hacer una pelea. Una muy buena pelea es con él, ¿no? Por el estilo que tiene.
¿Aprendieron mucho de esa pelea?
Sí, aprendí mucho y más que nada no quiero volver a experimentar una derrota y creo que me gusta aprender. Aprendí muchísimas cosas y así seguiré.
Many people, including critics, have been amazed by Canelo's ability to use his name and achievements. Canelo is well known for more than only his boxing prowess. He is also a great businessman who has amassed a fortune through shrewd judgments.
I think it's very, very realistic. And people may think that sounds crazy, but Canelo is a smart businessman. And at the end of the day, he wants to do big fights and make, entertainment, make huge entertainment products. And my skill set is improving every single day. And that's what doing fights like this are about, taking on real professional fighters so that eventually I could take on tougher fighters. And I see Canelo versus Jake Paul happening in the next 24 months. It just makes so much sense. And also people forget that I'm 200 pounds. I have a size advantage. All of these things that start to add up, which make it such an interesting fight that I fully believe I'll win. There's the KSIs, the Tommy Furies, the Nate Diaz MMA fight, but I don't know if these guys actually want to put it on the line. We've tried to make a Floyd fight happen. Floyd's ducked it. So I don't know if these guys really want to take a risk.
Floyd Mayweather's relationship with money has become an important part of his public image. His obsession with wealth is more than just financial success, it has become an integral part of how he defines himself. Floyd often flaunts his wealth, whether through social media posts portraying his luxury lifestyle or by constantly talking about his income.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. has been paid over $1 billion through his career. What are the craziest ways that he spent it? Let's start with the ice. Dude has almost everything diamond crusted, from his plates and silverware to the case for his gold iPhone to his $18 million watch nicknamed the Billionaire. Moving on, apparently Mayweather also loves golf, or probably just golfing around courses. Dude owns a pair of Cadillac and Bentley golf carts, worth over $500,000 together. Then there's his barber, who makes house calls 3 to 4 times a week, each visit costing money a clean $1,000. And it gets even crazier. Apparently, Floyd never uses the same pair of boxers twice, and he'll leave all of his kicks at hotels he stays at as gifts to staff. But the scary thing, none of this comes close to the dude's gambling habit. Floyd reportedly dropped over $6 million on the Heat in Game 7 of the 2013 finals. And thankfully, LeBron came through for him, and that's just a slice of the money life of Money Mayweather.
Dana White has declared that the fight between Canelo Alvarez and Floyd Mayweather was the highest-paying boxing contest in history. This match grabbed a lot of attention and generated record-breaking revenue. Analysts have highlighted Floyd Mayweather's tendency to compare himself to other fighters, especially in terms of financial success. They think Floyd regularly becomes defensive and feels compelled to maintain his position as boxing's greatest earner. His fixation with money and superiority has, in some ways, overshadowed the more important aspects of his career. Gervonta Tank Davis, a budding boxing star, has publicly expressed Floyd Mayweather's issue with anyone else in the spotlight. Floyd, according to Davis, has always sought attention, even after retirement.
And that was Gervonta Davis. He had basically said that some people are just jealous-hearted, and basically it looked like he was alluding to Floyd Mayweather having his press conference with the Anderson Silva card on the same day because he believes that Floyd couldn't take that someone else is in the limelight. Like, he couldn't stomach it. So Floyd Mayweather, seeking the attention, decided to try to upstage him, which Floyd has done that in the past. Like, you look at the fight with Canelo versus Golovkin, everybody was looking forward to that fight, and then out of nowhere Floyd announced that he was fighting Conor McGregor, and it kind of stole the steam away from Canelo Golovkin, and it took the sails out of it took some air out of the sails of Canelo Golovkin, because people were looking for that fight, and people were like, okay, that's the best fight in the calendar. But then Mayweather and Conor McGregor, just their personalities, they came with this crazy energy and a press tour, and it just diverted attention away. So he has done it before, but now he's being accused of doing it to his own fighter by the fighter himself, possibly, because again, it was subliminal, and then that's what people are thinking. So Floyd responds to this, and he says, as far as me being jealous of anyone, and I'm not talking about my fighters, I mean, God has truly blessed me and put me in a position to be able to give back to my fighters. If giving back is jealousy, then that's what it is. Fighters and individuals are going to feel like they want to feel. And my job is to always be a bigger person and continue to stay positive and push for my fighters to.
When faced with blowback or criticism, Floyd Mayweather routinely dismisses it, claiming that people are simply jealous of his success. This attitude of disregard for other people's opinions is part of his public persona, allowing him to openly flaunt his wealth.
You always remember this. Jealousy, people jealous of you, comes with success. So anytime you're successful, people gonna be jealous of you. People are always gonna like you. It's the same thing like my job. I still go there and be at my best.
If you're doing good, they got something to say. If you're doing bad, they got something to say. So do what makes you happy. Because you see this jet, you see this private jet that we own? I got it because I did what the fuck I wanted to do.
I made over $1 billion. You know why? Because I did what the fuck I wanted to do. Do what the fuck you want to do. The only thing we can do is take one day at a time. You know, that's all we can do. No one is perfect. Every day we strive to be perfectionists, but no one is perfect. I make mistakes. You know, I've said things that I shouldn't have said when I was younger. I've done things that I shouldn't have done when I was younger. I'm not perfect, but we live and we learn. That's a part of growing.
Floyd Mayweather's affinity with money appears to be obsessional, rather than simply financial gain. He's frequently seen in public carrying bags of cash and displaying his wealth in extravagant ways.
He might be one of the greatest boxers ever, but this is weird as hell.
Only thing that's on my mind is who's around this town and now. Yeah, I said it, this is Rock Nation.
Now I know this guy has an obsession with money. He didn't get the name Money Mayweather for no reason. But after a bit, you've got to start to question this guy's sanity. And especially if you're doing it at an NBA game, where that seat should be your friend, your spouse, a parent. You've got to start raising some flags about this guy's well-being. Because instead, he took a bag of money with him to keep him company at an NBA game. Now, this app, and even people in my space, some of them, their personality is all about money. If they couldn't mention that they were a millionaire or they had money, they'd be the driest person on here. Their whole personality is all about this. And I don't know, as a grown man, why the hell, or should I say how the hell, did that even cross your mind?
Floyd's financial concerns aren't the only thing that strained his relationships. He's also been accused of harboring anger toward other fighters, even some in his own organization. Floyd's caustic temperament has caused several fighters to leave his promotion. His inability to acknowledge others' accomplishments, along with his overbearing nature, has resulted in schisms among his personnel.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Rich back with another one. Now, everybody is talking about how Floyd Mayweather is losing all his fighters. Gervonta Davis just put out a tweet saying that he stopped Shakur Stevenson from signing with Floyd because Floyd was setting him up for failure. Now, I'm a big Floyd Mayweather fan and supporter, and I love Tank. But, you know, a lot of times us fans don't really know what goes on behind the scenes, and if all this stuff they saying about Floyd Mayweather is true, it's sad because I feel like it take away from his career, his character as a person, because we see him in the ring, we see how head-driven he is, we see how confident he is, and we see how he's the greatest in the ring, but a lot of times that stuff don't be carrying on to different people's characters. So y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Y'all think Floyd just think about himself and don't really care about his fighters? Do you think everything that people saying about Floyd is true, or you think they just adding a little sauce to it, that over-exaggerate?
Floyd Mayweather has expertly cultivated money. Mayweather's persona is a brand that represents both his enormous financial success and his larger-than-life public image. Nevertheless, this image is not entirely based on physical achievement. Floyd is having problems with being overshadowed, now that other boxers are vying for his position, as he has always craved the fame and attention that comes with being at the center of the boxing world.
Now you got it. So they devised a plan. Go from Pretty Boy to Money. See, Pretty Boy loved to throw hands, but Money was a defensive specialist. In fact, he's easily considered as the greatest defensive boxer of all time. But that wasn't the only reason he changed his name. Look at that man's face. See, Mayweather was known to talk smack and aggravate people, but this made things even worse because now he's blocking and running away. So people was like, you doing all this talking, but you running. But as he's moving away, he's throwing in some hits here and there. And before you know, when the fight's over, he lands so many more hits that he always wins. So people would always say, Mayweather, you boring. You not throwing hands for real. But his reply was always, nah, do something about it. So people lost it. They started paying to see him lose. But this strategy was none other than Muhammad Ali's strategy. In his words, he would talk so much trash that people would pay to see him lose, and they would get disappointed every time. So they would come back next time and spend some more money, but the only person winning is Muhammad Ali. So this turns Mayweather into one of the richest athletes of all time. Why? Because of his brittle hands.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned for the next